Oh, we struggle in all aspects of school.
Yeah.
We had PE down. That's about it.
And lunch.
PE and
I was ready for lunch.
That has stayed true to form.
Sean Watson, another step back, which I will say a lot of his problem that O-line. 8 sacks.
Yeah.
Good.
He's gonna be back like when Big came back to the league after the dog hit him.
Yes.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine.
Hello and welcome to another exciting football-filled week of Benchwarmers Basement Banner. I am Woody.
I'm Rogers.
I'm Stat Guy.
That's right, and at this point in time, I kick it to you with the promo because I always forget
Yes,
stuff.
yes. Follow us on Facebook. We got a Facebook page. We got an X page. We got TikTok. We go live on TikTok a couple times. And Kick. Don't forget about
I
Kick.
never know what it is, but it sounds cool.
Sometimes we forget about it ourselves.
That's right.
But yes,
fun for
follow
me to
us
say.
on TikTok. We go live talking fantasy football, which it's about time
Crunch
for fantasy
time.
We're gonna do it
football
this week.
playoffs.
It's big. It's
Yes,
big,
we will do it this week. I'll do it myself if I have to. And, of course, like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and we did something big last week. We did a game.
Yes, we did a live broadcast of the Thursday night game. And,
Very expert analysis
We think
back
it
here.
went
Yes,
well.
I actually called it a pretty good success. I thought it went really well.
I think so.
You guys,
Well, we had
what
fun.
do you let us know what you guys thought, if you guys
That's
enjoyed
right.
it or not. And we can continue to do those if it's something you guys like. So,
Yeah, heck yeah. Give us a like, all that good stuff. So, yeah. And also, once again, to Wabash, the studio. We love it. Bright
Yes.
lights, beautiful. Couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you very much.
Now, you said there was a football-packed week,
Oh, it is.
which it has been a lot lately, but this is a little bit of a different change in gears. We're talking college
Hold
football.
Yes, we
And
are.
you're right. There,
Playoffs.
there was also another changing gears. The big story of the week. I don't think the Chiefs got any ref aid, did they?
They did not.
No, they did not.
I was waiting for that one. I was like, no controversy and a 2-point win. Not a surprise. But
And they didn't cover because they never do.
they never do. They're not into that. They don't care about our money.
They just
So,
win
yeah.
games.
We figured it out on our Pick'em show, you guys. We do that that comes out every Thursday at
That's
2
right.
o'clock.
I do this
So make
part
sure
now.
and
They
watch
learned it
that.
with me this week.
You and your islands, you'll get there. But yeah, we'll go ahead. We will circle back at the end of this some NFL talk. But yeah, college. I mean, that's where it's at. Like it's playoffs.
Playoffs.
Time.
Playoffs.
Oh yeah, and we're here. We're excited. Everybody in America is. I mean, probably even other countries. Like,
It's getting a lot
I
of
think
talk.
It's important that we pat ourselves on the back with our dark horse picks.
oh, we do. We do. Here, I'm gonna give you a big old pat.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't watch our preseason one, I had Boise State coming out of the Mountain West, making the top 12, and you, my friend, had.
The SMU Mustangs.
Right.
Yes.
We might have forgot they were in the ACC, but whatever. They're still
Didn't
there.
matter.
It didn't
Yeah,
matter.
it worked
They
out.
still made it there.
When a quarter of college football changes conferences, we might miss one or two. But
Yes.
Anyway, they got there. We'll go ahead and run through this real quick with who all made it. That sound good? And then I'm going to circle back to the championship games because I got something to say this last
'Kay.
weekend. Texas. There we go. We got Oregon 13-0, the undisputed, awesome 1 seed. No argument there.
Oh, yeah.
1 seed. Georgia got the number 2. I think they were number 5 going into the game against my Longhorns.
Yep.
They won. Number 2, they get a bye. Texas was still number 3 in the AP poll, but here's where the fun college football playoff dynamic comes in. They're the 5 seed.
Yep.
Yep. What we learned is, I guess there's 5 power conferences, and it's the top 4 teams from those 5. Whereas
Yes.
before the season, we had a little
Correct.
confusion on that. So keep that in mind. Number 4 was Penn State at 11-2. They lost a very good Big Ten title game
Yes.
to Oregon. They'll be actually the number 6 seed though. Okay. Notre Dame, because they are too good to be in a important conference.
Yes.
Or any conference, about right? You know, they were number 5 in the poll, but seeded number 7. So they'll get a home game against Indiana. Ohio State, they were idle. Worked out well. Didn't lose a game, you get in.
Yeah.
They're number 6. They're seeded number 8. They get a home game against Tennessee. Tennessee, number 7, but actually seeded number 9. Like I said, at Ohio State. Here's Indiana. They were the number 8 team, but seeded number 10. They go to, this is big, go to Notre Dame.
Big
That's gonna
time
be fun.
game.
Oh, these going to be fun. Here's my Boise State Broncos. Yeah.
With a bye.
With
That's
the
right.
bye.
Number 9 in the poll, but number 3, buddy.
But number 1 in our hearts.
Number 1. Oh, yeah. That's
Yes.
Smurf Turf. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So there we go. Like I said, we get a lot wrong. We got this one right. And then here we go. SMU. They are number 10, but unfortunately they get the 11 seed
Yes.
because here we got another one coming. Arizona State, which good job on SMU. There you go. Well
They're
done.
going to beat Penn State, and they're going to beat your dark horse.
I love it. I love it. I got to think that far ahead.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. We'll see about that. Bold strategy, Cotton.
Seems unlikely.
That was
see
a
how
hot.
that
That
pans
might
out.
be a hot take.
It might be. Are we surprised? This guy. That's why we love you. Arizona State, who won, I started to say the Pac-12. That is incorrect.
Nope.
They're out of the Big 12
Big
now.
12, yes.
Man, it's going to take a while. But they smoked Iowa State.
Yes, they did.
Oh, that was a dismantle.
Yes.
Very impressive. So they get the number 4 seed. They're actually the number 12 AP team, seeded number 4, and they get a bye. That's huge.
That's huge.
It is. And Clemson snuck in, narrowly defeating your Mustangs.
Yeah.
in a hell of a
Honestly, if that game wouldn't have started so poorly for the Mustangs,
Yes.
I thought they had a better chance of winning that game. It's just that 2 picks early on, Clemson went up
Yeah.
to 21-0 real fast.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
SMU, to their
To the
credit,
Credit.
they
came back.
clawed back in. I think they lost 34-31.
Yep, a
It
field
was,
goal.
Yep.
Yeah, 16 seconds left.
Yeah.
When Clemson got the ball, they went down and got a field goal. Impressive. And they're dangerous with that coach, Dabo. Dabo's where he wants to be, guys. Yep. Wants to be the dog. So we'll get into that in a minute. But they are the 12 seed. Here's what I want to ask you guys. Did you have any problem with Bama? They were the most notable omission. They were number 11, Miami 13, Ole Miss 14, and South Carolina 15. I think Bama is the only one you could make an argument for.
Too many losses.
I
Too many
agree.
losses and
We all agree.
bad losses.
Yeah, not losses to good teams even.
Yeah.
Really. Like,
I think the Oklahoma one killed them.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
really do.
And to me, so what they were doing, really putting it in the conference championship, making that important.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have put SMU out of this
Yeah.
tournament, then next year no team plays a conference championship. They just pull out and forfeit.
That
Yeah.
would have possibly ruined the credibility.
It
of
would have ruined it.
I do
For
agree
sure.
with
Like
that.
they couldn't
I do.
have dealt with that, because if you're saying Bama doesn't play in the SEC championship and
Yeah.
then they get to make it over
Get
here,
in.
SMU played in their conference championship, they
they
lose.
lost,
Like,
but
they don't make
made a
it.
respectable enough effort to
Yeah.
stay.
See, okay, that's what I was going to circle
Yeah.
back to too. If SMU would have got their tails kicked, would not have came back in that game, lost by 30, say. Oh
If
boy.
that game would have ended like it started,
yes,
I think they're
yes.
out.
I kind of tend to think
Yeah.
the way they finished that
Yeah.
game got them in. I really do, because it was close. And like I said, I don't think the other teams have an argument. Bama, they had some big wins. I could kind of see it. But I
They
They
like
had bigger
how
losses.
That if they hadn't lost. The SEC loss is okay. I'll give you that. But the Oklahoma one, didn't that kill him?
That's an SEC loss too, but
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
It
Yeah,
is,
see, that's
but
still-
yes,
I think
it
it's
still
Vanderbilt
killed them.
who
But they
lost
were-
it.
But yeah,
Well,
I mean,
Oklahoma was like 500.
yeah,
Vandy.
Oklahoma was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, they were down. Yeah, man, I had Big 12 in my head. My bad. But
Yeah, they're
still,
SEC now, but
I know.
and then
Texas
the
is-
everybody that today when I was working out on ESECPN
I
was
like that.
just talking up. Oh my gosh, strength schedule, all this crap, and it's like I didn't see a single person bring up what the actual meaning is, and it's just the conference championship game has to matter.
There's,
Yeah,
there's
I think
not a
it
team
needs
in
to.
this group of 12 that I think shouldn't beat Vandy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. When you have that loss, and they had opportunities, they really did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I like the importance of conference championship
Mm-hmm.
mattering. Like, that's what for years. I mean, it mattered even more than now, because it was like, hey, that's your last chance to
Yes.
get to the 4. And I mean, it was huge. Needs to stay that way. So at that point, you want to talk about some of the championship games? Like, we just have a few.
So I will say on the conference championship, before we get into that, I do think they need to go away with the bye, the way it's set up.
with
I
the
think
bye.
right now we can probably leave the playoff by itself alone because it's so much better than it was a few
Well,
years
yes,
Oh yeah.
but
yeah,
I just
yeah. Oh, I'm
A-
sorry. You're talking. Yeah.
ASU Posey State getting the bye.
See, I do get
I'm
your
kind of
point on
thinking that should
yeah.
just be what the rankings are for.
Well, I honestly kind of wanted 16. I kind of, which I'm not complaining because I'm thrilled.
Oh yeah,
This
this
is
is
so much better.
So much better.
Yeah. You guys have done fine on it, but I kind of agree with you because I was like, okay, the way they seed it, like the discrepancy in like, okay, you're rewarding like lesser teams like ASU with a bye versus like say a Texas, Notre Dame, teams like that. I kind of want to see 16. Wanting at 16.
No buys.
No buys.
I don't hate
That's
that.
Yeah,
You have literally the same amount of weeks of games. You know what I mean? You just have
you just add in the first
Yeah,
first
4
week
more
for everybody.
games.
No bye games.
Exactly.
That's not terrible.
Make it a true gauntlet like the
Yeah.
March Madness
Well,
tournament.
if-
It's like there's no buys in this.
Exactly. Yeah, and then that takes out, like you said, the 3-4 advantage of the 7-8 who may not be deserving. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I
'cause,
love chaos.
I mean, if I'm I'll bring this up again. If I'm Penn State, I'm licking my chops.
Yeah, yeah.
They got to run into that semifinals.
Yeah, honestly, they've got
a good.
what should be a pretty easy road.
Yeah, in theory.
Boise State's scary though.
They are
That's
scary.
the one that I'm wondering about.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Next segment, let's get into the bracket. We'll have it pulled up, kind of do our predictions, everything on that. We've got a few minutes left here, like I said, to talk the conference championship. What was the Oregon Penn State game? That one was awesome.
That was a great game.
Probably
Yeah.
the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Penn State showed plenty in that to deserve the seed they got
Yep.
now.
They actually surprised me with how well their offense performed in that game.
See, I agree.
Yeah.
Their defense has always been pretty good. You're not going to hold Oregon down.
No,
but
no,
to be
no.
able to keep up and score against Oregon like they
Yeah.
did, who also has a top 10 ranked defense,
They're good all the way around. They're
yeah,
fast.
so-
They're fast.
I think the Penn State could have been in the contention for a bye if that was a thing for them to be able to get.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
Well, they're number 4 in the ranking technically.
Yeah,
so,
they are.
if they go with what I said, they would
They would have
technically
got a bye.
get a bye.
Yeah. What I thought was big for this game is, like you said, they got out of their comfort zone, is in playing a defensive-minded game. Like, they had to score. They had to match them. They had
Absolutely.
two backs score over 100 yards.
Yeah.
They had, their quarterback looked pretty solid at times in that game. They put up points I didn't think they could, and I'm like, oof. I think that makes them more dangerous.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
It
Because,
does.
I mean,
Yeah.
defense wins championships,
Yeah.
but you got to put up points too.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yep, exactly.
Buddy. You gotta win your game. One thing I'll say with Oregon is, like, they did get gashed on the ground, and once again, it's hard to keep up with them, but I think that's the only way someone might beat them. Mm-hmm. Good luck keeping that offense off the field.
Yeah.
Though. So, and speaking of Boise State, they beat UNLV 21-7. Giante, another
Yeah,
Heisman-esque
he's a
performance.
stud.
He was great. The ACC, you touched
Oh,
on that one.
I think there was a highlight scene looked like he killed a man.
He might have.
Yeah, he straight trucked somebody. About as bad as a running back truck I've ever seen.
His season's not over
Oh,
yet,
it
so
was
something might
ridiculous.
still go down
It
in
was
playoff time.
ridiculous.
I'm excited to see what he can do in this format because, before, like, they might have been that team that's 5 or 6, and you didn't get to see him on the big stage.
Yep.
Now you do. Well, yeah, they were number 9. You wouldn't
Well,
have.
all season people have said we haven't seen him play a good defense. We haven't seen him play
Yeah.
good defense. He ran all over Oregon, but Oregon's not known for the defense, even though they are a good defensive team.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I think we're gonna get some teams like they're likely gonna be playing in Penn State.
There's some
That's
strong
gonna be
That's
interesting.
possibility.
that's
That's-
going to be very
That's
interesting.
going to be strength against strength right there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited to see that, and if they can play with a Big Ten team. So, it's pretty fun. The other one we touched on Arizona State. Oh, man.
Man, that another good running back there.
Yeah. Skadibo, is that you say his
I
name?
think so. I'm not going to attempt to say it.
I like
He
his
claims
little
that he is
Heisman pose.
he claims that he's the best running back in the nation.
All right, you got your shot to prove it.
Yeah,
I
he
gotta
got a
say,
shot. Hey,
as far as the-
he carved up
man,
Iowa State. I mean, it was impressive.
He looked very good. He did. They got a pretty solid quarterback. They've got some pieces on offense, and once again, get to see it on the big stage. So, pretty excited for that. I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and take a break
Yep.
right now, and we'll come back, finish up on that talk, and jump into these playoffs.
Sounds great.
All right.
We're back. All right, and we are back.
Welcome back.
And I think we've hit on all of the conference championship games. Of
Except
note.
for one that we need
I
to let
just
you
can't
have
wait
the
to talk
floor,
about,
Woody.
and Quinn Ewers, I'm done with you. I'm there. I'm gonna tell you what, they had halftime 6-3 game. We were talking off air. They pretty much murdered Carson Beck
Yes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
did.
on the last second play of the half. I'm like, all right, we got the lead. First half, we like outgained them, tripled.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they shot themselves in the foot, but they shown they could move the ball. I'm like, this is great. Backup quarterback, unleash the hounds, go get him. Well, they did not. First drive, he walks him down the field, touchdown, and I was like, what the crap? What's going on? Like, this has got to be
This
one
is somehow
dimensional.
worse.
Yeah. I was like, Beck's out, and you made a good point.
Beck is not that great of a quarterback.
No, he's really not. I mean, Gunnar Stockton, he came in and honestly looked better,
Yeah.
I think, with no experience and everything. And he runs the ball better.
Mm-hmm.
He made them a little
Yeah.
more dynamic as an offense. And they still, though.
Carson Beck was a product last year of having what we now know as a generational tight end prospect
Yeah,
and a very good wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen that a lot in college when you are surrounded by talent.
Yeah, he was
like that.
surrounded by talent.
That's a good call. And you've seen this year, he's thrown a lot of picks. That being said, Stockton, they did get to him, pressured him.
Mm-hmm.
Texas had a big pick, end of the game. They were down 3.
Yeah.
Ball on the 40, I think it was,
Yes.
on a horrible pick. The kid tried to throw away, couldn't get it out of bounds. I was like, all right, Quinn Ewers, you are lacking that big moment
Mm-hmm.
in your resume. Like, you always lose the big games. Here it is. March him down the field. No field goal. Tutty. In the game.
Yep.
Doesn't do it.
Yep.
They get the game-tying touchdown, but I'll tell you what, you go to overtime, all bets are
Yeah,
off,
I mean,
honestly.
it's
Right.
And it was, as a Texas fan, I was very, very agitated.
and you get the first possession in
Yeah.
overtime, you're kind of SOL if you don't score a
No,
touchdown.
You've got to score a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a decent amount of that game,
Yeah.
and I believe that I texted all of you while I was watching. It's like, okay, I've seen enough viewers.
Yeah,
Put in
yeah,
Arch.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like this is about midway through the third quarter. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
okay, let's.
Which I'm sorry I purposely ignored you guys. I was on information freeze out.
Yes, he was.
I had the game
We
DVR.
thought we was about ready to send a search and rescue for you.
I did. I put my phone up when I got home, got cleaned up, watched it, and oh my gosh, it's one of those. It's probably a good thing. I didn't have much good to say. I'm not. The kids went to bed. I got to watch the game. It was bad, and I'll tell you what. This might be a hot take. Texas fan, passionate here. I want Arch. I really do. Here's why. I think he can be a difference maker at quarterback that you need right now.
Mm-hmm.
Viewers, I'm not going to say game management. Screw it.
Yeah,
he's
he's
more, of a
more
game
that way.
manager.
There's
Like,
nothing wrong with the game management. Tom Brady
there's
was
not.
one.
There's not. It just need to beat. Oh my gosh. We're gonna just pass glaze over that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
You just
anyway.
want that for the clip.
Yeah, there you go. I don't think Quinn Ewers deserves anywhere near the conversation Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's not a goat.
No, and he doesn't make plays to like win games when you have to. Like he doesn't have the arm Arch does, the mobility. I'll take the
He
chance
has
on Arch.
no
throwing three
mobility.
picks. None. Exactly. There was a lot of times in this game he got out of the pocket. I'm like, all right, move. Like get your butt down to the end zone. But it didn't happen, and I think
Was he better last year than this year?
yeah, and honestly, he did get hurt this year. I think
Yeah.
his hip
Yeah.
has not been the same since. That might be a little, but even last year, he's not dynamic like Arch is.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, and I would rather roll the dice. Like I know yours is, well, they say a little more safe, but gosh dang, he's thrown some bad picks this year. He really has.
I mean, he may also be a product of he had two great wide receivers last year that he doesn't have.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh no,
That
he
is
still
true.
has a lot of talent. This
Yeah,
year,
they
the Golden
still.
Kid,
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
talent.
Like they restocked the cupboard. He has no excuses. I don't think of him much as a prospect. I really
No.
don't. Like, he's had a talent
Shoot.
advantage and hadn't won.
We'll see when we come to the draft season and our episodes there, but man, there ain't much in the quarterbacks.
No, I wouldn't pick this one.
Shedeur.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, sure. Try him Cam Ward over this kid. I'm
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
I'm a little salty. Obviously, that hits home, but that was just a game you had to win. And I wonder who they go with. I'm not going to lie. I really wonder if there might be a shakeup. It will happen close to game.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Or put in a big package for Arch.
Yeah.
Like they bring him in every once in a while, but I mean, I'm talking
the A&M game.
give him a
They,
package.
they brought him in, had a heck of a touchdown down the sideline, and they used him quite a bit. As I made the comp with Tebow, how they would bring him in and compliment Chris Leak. You know? Not saying they're exactly the same player, but the idea
Yeah.
of it.
Arch has way better mechanics.
I just want to see Arch out there every play. I'm being honest with you. But that's my little rant. I'm glad you guys don't think I'm totally crazy on that one.
No,
So,
no.
Man, I don't think that's necessarily relative to the situation. We think you're totally.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, we
I
grew up.
meant
We
on
know
the
that.
subject, so
That
that's
we
about
don't
it.
even think it. We know it.
yeah, that's fair. So enough Texas talk. We'll get to them in a minute. Hell, we might as well start that off with these games.
Yeah. I'll throw
Texas
the
is the
computer
5.
up here. So we got the first game. We're gonna go in order. Woody, you
I
calm
like
down.
that.
First game is
How about it?
December 20th. So you know,
Oh, I was
11
going 5. Yeah. Okay.
11,
Friday the
11
20th.
Yep, 11 days from now. It's the Indiana game.
Indiana
And
going
I
to
mean-
the South
No,
Bend.
No, I mean the state of Indiana.
Yeah,
Indiana.
that's the thing. I mean, home field, but they're Indiana too. Bloomington's
Yeah.
a little farther south.
Yep.
But it is a hard place to play. But what do you guys think?
Well, first off, I guess SeatGeek there they are selling tickets like hotcakes, and they're like the cheapest ones $1,000
I can believe that.
for this because
Yeah.
Sports are huge, man.
well that and
Oh, and
these
where's that?
these
And-
teams have never played each other really,
Yeah,
and they're in
I
state, and
Definitely
it's
not getting
very
this variety. Like
yeah
it's
it's a huge game.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna tell you what. I think there is gonna be some upsets here. I really think
Yeah.
there is with the field this big.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna take one here. My Notre Dame thing. They're a good team. They're very solid. Who have they beat? A&M early in the year. Was that like the first, second week?
Yep.
Who have they played lately? Like Riley
It-
Leonard's look better, but
Well, I was gonna bring this up. I do like Riley Leonard. I really liked him when he was at Duke before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed him there. But I'm gonna stray off here real quick and ask you guys this: do you
Okay.
think, with the way that this college football playoff is, that Notre Dame looks at joining the conference because of how rewarding it is to be?
I don't think so. I
You-
think that
do you
would
think
happen
do you think
before
the
this.
you think the money's
I
too
don't know,
big?
because that's what I was gonna say. I think this season, seeing how it lays out and everything, they might revisit that
Yeah.
conversation. But honestly, I have to look into all the reasons they're not.
It's money is the
It is
reason.
money? Yeah.
It's money. But everything, I think basketball's still in the ACC.
Yeah, they're ACC for
Yeah.
basketball. Yeah. I think it could happen in the next 2-3 years. But
'Cause, I
here's the
mean,
thing.
if they keep it on this and you get a bye, if you're
Yeah.
winning that conference championship, that's
Yeah.
huge.
But they also might look at it as more exposure, like, you know what I'm saying? Like on the adverse of that, they're going to be playing tougher teams. They may not get a lot of easy weeks like they have.
Yeah.
Like with all due respect to like Army, Navy, they beat recently. That's kind of a different level of competition. I mean that is no slight. I will respect what those kids do.
Yes.
But on the football field, like it's a little bit different than when you're playing.
Which one of
SEC.
them won a conference championship? Was it Navy?
I think so.
Yeah, it was
They
pretty.
were both
It was,
top
yeah,
25
they were.
ranked,
They
I
were.
believe, when
Didn't.
they
Yeah, they
played
were. Yeah,
Notre
it
Dame
was
and-
very interesting.
Yeah, and Notre Dame beat them. So
Didn't they have 3 losses?
who's that?
Notre Dame.
No, they lost one.
Okay.
No, but they didn't. They lost early in the season.
I was looking at their schedule
Team
trying to
they
figure out who
shouldn't.
they had beaten that was impressive, and
There isn't.
Yeah. it's
I
not-
mean they beat Oregon State when Oregon State was still ranked,
Yeah.
and they beat Army when they were ranked.
Yeah.
But-
yeah. And you could on the flip side, you'd be like Indiana. Well, who have they beat? Like they had a lighter Big Ten
Yep,
schedule.
they did have a light schedule.
You look at the Ohio State game, like, oh, they got smashed. But actually, I was looking more into that, and I was like, you know what? If you take the 2 special teams touchdowns out, they had the lead in that game.
They
for a
did.
good
They
while.
did for a while.
Truthfully, they didn't. They played with them, I think. So, and having the experience of a team playing like that, like, I'm gonna pick that. as an
Any which
upset
way,
stuff.
I will say Indiana being in here is awesome.
Someone from the team of the state of Indiana will win this game. There you go.
Oh my gosh, Woody.
We'll take it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go an upset there. I don't feel good about it, not at all. But
I'm gonna take Notre Dame.
a wise person would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wise person would do that.
I'm also going Notre Dame.
I don't blame
It's a
you
no
guys.
for me, dog.
I just gotta have some fun, man. I do
They-
not know
they've
how
not-
this is gonna affect the bracket.
You know, they've. I mean, Indiana's overachieved and really, you know.
I think
they're-
both of those
they're
teams
gonna-
get smashed by Georgia when they
Yeah,
get
yeah,
there,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
That's
I know
that is how the bracket's
Notre
gonna
Dame's
fit in.
talent is quite a bit more than
It
Indiana's.
is a little better.
Yeah.
I really like their quarterback at Indiana. What's his name? Rourke. He's very mobile. I'm excited to see what he can do against him. But what's our next game we got?
All
here,
right,
Pedro?
next games are Saturday, December 21st, and we got the 3 other games.
3?
Yep, starting the noon game is SMU at Penn State. That's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be fun.
Uh,
I saw something about Penn
Clemson.
State's mad because they didn't get a night game to wear those
Yeah.
all white jerseys.
Yes, the whiteout would have been sick.
All right, Penn State, you've showed us you can score.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a tough spot in my mind for SMU to go to Penn State, cold weather from a Texas
yes,
team.
that's it's gonna be tough,
It's
and
gonna
that
be bonkers too.
and yeah, they are these home playoff games are awesome.
Yeah. Oh,
They
yeah.
are awesome.
That was the coolest dynamic when they.
This is
broke
different than
down.
the Indiana and Notre Dame because I don't think there's necessarily going to be that big of a home field advantage there.
Oh, you mean
in
oh,
state.
Yeah, I got you. Here,
But
yeah.
here, oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Yeah.
they are
That's-
going to be going nuts.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm gonna go with the home team here. Like I really think, with all due respect to your Mustangs, they've been great. But
They're not going to win this game.
Yeah,
well, then
yeah.
so
It's
just
Penn
sounds fair,
State.
right?
No,
Yeah.
they're not going to beat Penn State. Penn State's
Well, the Big Ten's way better too
They're a
than
top
the
4
ACC,
team in the
I
league.
think.
Yeah.
Or in the
And,
nation.
They've been tested more. The defense is that's what's going to get them.
Yeah, the
is better.
defense I think is
So,
is the
what's the
I will
spread?
say though that
I do not know what
I
that
think
is.
that the Penn State will have to. Their offense is going to have to show up again.
They gotta put up
because
points, yeah.
SMU will put up points.
I was gonna say I thought it was a bigger spread, like I don't know, 9 points, something like that. I was like I could see SMU covering that, but I think Penn
Ooh,
State
I think
wins
10's
this one.
probably a little tight too because I could.
Yeah,
I could.
I don't
see,
think it's a blowout.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think it's gonna be close. But
it is 9.
Yeah.
there you go. So
It is
yeah,
9.
SMU to cover Penn State to win. That's Woody's verdict.
There we go.
Okay.
The other one is 7.5.
Okay. And that's at noon, right?
Yes.
What's our next game? we
All right,
got
next
there?
game is
We'll hit one more.
Clemson going to Austin.
Oh, here
It's
we
the
go.
4 o'clock game.
Do the horns down. Ooh.
Well,
Just kidding.
I'm gonna go horns up.
I think this is going to be a way closer game. That's 11.5 is the spread. Here's what makes me nervous
11.
as a Texas fan.
11.
I'm nervous for this
Dabo
game.
Sweeney.
Dabo, their quarterback's actually pretty dang good. They can put up some points.
Yeah, what was it, Klubnik?
Yeah, Caleb Klubnik, I believe is his name.
Okay.
I think he was actually 3rd or 4th in the nation in passing tutties. Has gotten better as the years went on.
They are on a bit of a hot streak, ain't they?
And here's the biggest thing: they're playing with house money, guys. You're that big of dogs.
That's true.
You squeaked away at ACC game, like winning that game that I really didn't think they were going to win going into it. They
Yeah.
got it big, almost lost it. The last 16 seconds, got the ball back.
I actually do
kick
think
game
that
of football.
SMU's the better team out of those two teams.
I do too, but my point to this is like Clemson, they have nothing to lose, and that's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous. Texas has some pressure.
They do.
At home, they were expected to be a top 4 team all season. That's big. Like they need to come out to a hot start. Ewers needs, if he's starting, he needs to play better. Like they need to in the red zone take advantage of their opportunities, or it's gonna be a problem.
They got to cover this and cover it by a lot.
I just want them to win, but I do agree with what
Yeah.
you're saying. They need to make a statement.
Yes,
Is that what
they
you're
do.
saying? They need
Yes.
to make a statement. I'm going to go Texas, but I'm afraid this can be a very close game, and I would feel much better, honestly, if Arch was starting. We'll see. Like, I'm not as confident as I wanted to be about this game.
I'm going to say Texas. I'm going to say Texas by a lot.
You think they come
Think
out
they
mad?
come out mad.
Yeah, I think they come out hair on fire, and they really show this Clemson team that what Texas football is all
Might have to be
about.
kind of is going to get in there. All right, boys.
All right.
I'd like to see that. I don't know. Like, I get an uneasy feeling in my tummy on this
Okay.
one, but I hope I'm wrong. We'll see. So what are you with?
Texas. Yeah, I
Texas,
said
yeah.
horns up, not
They're
horns
more
down.
talented.
Yeah,
Like they
no,
have
they're
a
way
more
more
talented
talented.
team like they
Yeah.
should. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Yep, you on it?
I was going to say let's go to break.
That's
Yes.
what I was going to say.
Okay.
Yep, there we go. We're on
And
the same
then
page.
we'll be back.
Back.
Yep.
Let's keep this playoff train rolling, buddy.
Yeah,
What we got next?
We're going out to Columbus.
Ooh,
We got
Cousins
The
out there.
Ohio State.
the Ohio State University taking on the Tennessee Volunteers.
I like that. Yeah. Will they actually take advantage of being at home though? Like
This is the
Yeah.
toughest game here.
I
For
know
me.
I'm the crazy one on here. I could see this actually being better if they were not at home because of the way the Michigan game went. And there's pressure on them now to come out at home, not lay another leg. Ryan Day, I might be dead wrong on this, but I think he might be coaching for his
He
job.
is. I agree.
You agree?
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
So, they come out and, oh my gosh, Will Howard looked terrible last game. Like they
I've
got
not been
pressure on him.
impressed with him at all, and
I'm not.
I don't think he was much different than McCord.
No, I
Yeah.
do not think he's an upgrade.
No,
That's for sure.
not at all.
I really thought their run game would dominate most teams, and they've been fine. They've been fine. But this Tennessee team's no slouch. Like, I don't know if you're picking up my vibes, but I'm kind of leaning another little mini upset here.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
What are you thinking, big guy?
I disagree. While I'm not super impressed
Spread
with
is
the quarterback play for
spread is
Ohio State,
actually 7.5.
I-
That's bigger than I
I
thought.
think that defense plays for
Interesting.
Ohio State. I think
Yeah.
that's a good defense, and
Yeah.
that's going to be the difference in the game. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is. Both are battle tested.
I think Ohio State's gonna.
You think
they-
come
they're-
out and make a statement?
Yeah, they got to make a statement there, and Day is coaching for his
Yeah.
life, and I mean, really, about all of them are on that team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a big shakeup.
I will say
lose
that I
this
don't
one.
think
Like,
that
they
the
have no
home
excuses.
field advantage matters too much in this one.
Yeah, no, and like Tennessee, I mean, gosh dang, they go to Bama, they go to Georgia, like they.
Yeah,
play
they
big states.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter to them.
And I
No.
really like their coach. Their offensive dynamic. They have a heck of a running back down there. His name's escaping my little brain right now, but they've got. And you look at Michigan did run game against Ohio State. Like I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna take the dog. I am. I'm gonna
Okay.
take
Okay.
Tennessee. I'm crazy. Let's do our bracket now.
So
We're
we're
gonna
gonna go
consensus too.
consensus.
Yeah.
So the 2 of 3. So we've got Ohio State playing Oregon, Texas playing Arizona State, Notre Dame playing Georgia, and Penn State playing Boise State.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
So these are all bowl games.
Where do you want to start on this one?
So we're going in order of when we're playing, dog.
Oh
so,
yeah, I don't know where. I don't know the order.
New
So
Year,
you-
New Year's Eve is Boise State
And Penn State.
and Penn State. Oh, that confused me when
Oh
it.
man, that's
it-
fun.
If
that
we,
was the one that we were just talking about.
It
we don't
is.
know
Excited to
who's
see.
winning that one.
I'm gonna show that first. I read this. If you guys see it on here, I seen Boise State versus number 6 Penn State. I didn't see the slash, and I got really confused for a second.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
we've been confused all year. with
They
the
already
setup,
had it
so-
on there.
Yeah, I thought they already had it on there, and I was like, "Whoa, collusion, collusion!"
This is a setup here.
But
That's
anyways, we think it will be Penn State here,
Yeah,
and this is
Giannis-
the Fiesta Bowl.
Fiesta Bowl. Okay.
I think we're gonna have a split decision on this one.
Oh really?
I
Oh,
think so.
Oh, I like this. I can see that. I'm going Penn State. I really am.
Okay.
Reluctantly, because I'm all for the Smurf turf, everything to do with that. Giante's been
kind of upset they don't have the home game.
We were talking about that. Yeah, cool. You got the bye, but dang it, that'd been fun. And
Uh-huh.
I think the battle test in this. Now I will say they impressed me earlier, Boise State, when they kept up with Oregon.
Yes.
Yes.
They could have.
I believe they lost that game 34-31. No,
37.
37-34.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
Yeah,
extra
but
field goal
they.
each.
I thought at first they came back in the game. I looked in more. I was like, no, wait a second. It was back and forth. They had the lead in the fourth quarter. Giante looked amazing. That being said, I think the Penn State team might be harder for them to run on than Oregon.
Yeah,
I think that's the
I
one
agree with that.
vulnerable
Yeah.
aspect for Oregon. That's it. But I think it's a bad matchup for him, honestly. I'm not saying he's going to get shut down.
But is he going to have 190 yards and 3 tutties like he did against Oregon? Not likely.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't. I think Penn State will do just enough here. I think they'll win. I really do. Don't feel good about it.
I'm going to go with Boise State.
I love it. I love it.
The only reason I'm going with that is because I think while the Penn State offense did show that it can score, and they're going to have to do it again against SMU, I don't know if they can keep up with the Boise State offense, and the Boise State defense is pretty good itself. So
It's solid. It is. I don't know. Their quarterback, Maddox Madsen, he's been solid, but is possibly going to be put in a different spot. Pressure he's facing, they're behind than he hadn't been in all year.
yeah, and
possibly,
we'll
but-
see how he reacts if he starts handing that ball over
that's
and
fair.
Gianti
That's fair.
doesn't get 8 yards
Yeah.
to carry.
Yeah, that's
So-
fair. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with a little more tested team here, but I'd like to see the upset.
I'm thinking it's Penn State too. I think
Okay.
that defense is so good, and then
I can't fault you guys.
something
No, I can't.
something about a number 11 on the D line of Penn State
Yeah,
is
it's kind of a
always
monster.
it's always a monster. That's number 11 on Penn State on the D line.
It
It's
goes
a
back,
monster.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Every year, it don't matter who it is under
It's
that
on the college
uniform.
football game. It's like that's a 99 rating.
Yeah,
This guy
every
didn't-
time, every
Yeah.
time.
All right, so
So next game, New Year's Day, we start off with the Arizona State game versus the winner of Texas Clemson. We have Texas here, and that is the Peach Bowl.
you guys I gotta think about this one. You guys, what you think? I'm pretty down on my horns right now.
You
I'm
are down.
emotional.
I was impressed with Arizona State and the way they played Iowa State, but I'll be honest, that's the only game of theirs I've watched all year.
I didn't know many of their players.
That running back
Really didn't.
was studly.
Yeah,
He seems like the type of guy who wants the big stage too.
He does
Like,
definitely
this
want
isn't gonna
that.
bother
Now, how will the big stage handle him? That's another question.
Exactly. In Texas, as down as I am, their defense is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like you saw against Georgia.
Yes.
Oof. I mean, yeah, the second half, Georgia got the run game going a little bit, but they really shut them
Mm-hmm.
down the first half. And I got to go with my horns here, I think. Like,
Yeah,
I'm also going to go with your horns. I think it's going to be closer than what the spread will, whatever
Whatever
the
it
spread
will
may
be.
Interesting to see what it is, yeah.
I think that the spread will probably be double digits, honestly. And
It might be. It depends
don't
on
think the
Texas
game will be
Clemson,
that
you
way.
know? Like, if Clemson
Yeah.
keeps it close, it might be close.
Yeah, I'm going Texas as well, and yeah, I will say
talent
I think it'll be closer than what the spread is.
Yeah.
I would
Arizona State
take
can
Arizona
punch
State
up.
in the points for
Yeah,
sure.
like that running back, I mean, and they were even missing their top receiver the game against Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've got weapons, they can put up points, but I don't think they'll stop Texas much.
take it easy on your horns. I mean, they lost to Georgia, man. Like,
With a backup quarterback. No, I want perfection.
No, I mean,
Connor
yeah.
Aves on the sidelines.
Georgia's only lost like
3 games in 5 years.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
and who
shit-
cares? Carson Beck is trash.
Well, it should have been 4 games. No, I do think they get by. I think they're in the top 4, or they should be, you know.
Yeah.
So, what's
All right, next game is 5:00 game, and if our bracket is right, it's a Big Ten matchup.
Ooh.
We got
yeah,
Oregon and Ohio State.
I'm going to say it plays out like it did before in the year.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to.
I think all roads run through Oregon.
I think so too.
I mean, they're the best team for a reason.
They're a top 10 ranked defense. They're a top 10 ranked offense.
Yeah.
Normally something you'd see out of an Alabama team that
Yep.
is just a powerhouse
Exactly.
on both sides of the ball.
Well, I'm thrilled for them because, going to the Big Ten, it was like, okay, you've done that out west, Pac-12. Now you're facing big guys. This is
Yeah, Big Ten's
big-
just as good of a
physical.
conference as SEC this year.
Yeah,
It is. You could make an argument better.
Yeah.
You really could. And I'm going to tell you what, I think this could be the year for Oregon. I really could. They've been close.
they have been close. I will say I'm not
Yeah, Chip
impressed.
Kelly had a lot of teams that just barely missed out on this.
I'm not impressed with
they-
Dylan Gabriel at all. I think he's a check down merchant from the games I've watched.
But
That's,
he's got enough
but
weapons that
Yeah.
it's the
I
Oregon,
was gonna
it's
say,
the
the way they
Oregon
spread the
speed
field out.
that gets
Yeah.
them by. But I don't.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about is I don't think he's a difference maker if he's got to get a play.
Yeah.
I really think he's not.
Oh,
But I
he's
think the
fairly
players that he's
mobile.
handing the ball off to are.
Yeah.
But if he's really got
The
to
thing
go
is, in
out,
this matchup,
if
I
he's
trust
got to
him
go
with
out there and
If,
throw
if
a
he's got to
deep
throw
ball,
downfield, it's
I don't
it's
know.
scary.
Yeah.
But for this matchup against Will Howard, I'm gonna go Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
That's fair.
all day.
Now-
Like,
now
have
I-
you seen
yeah.
him do the same thing we're talking about?
Exactly.
No.
Now I'm more talking once he get past
Oh,
this
past that. Yeah,
matchup.
that's good.
I'm a little suspect of him,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's Oregon
One
here
step at
as
a
well.
time. One step at a time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we got Oregon unanimous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, we
absolutely.
agree. There we go.
Yeah. All right, and then the last one is the Georgia game. We have Notre Dame here. It's the Sugar Bowl. It's at 8:45.
Just
Go Dogs.
I'm with you.
if I was better at it, I'd call the dogs like Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Oh, that red. You guys haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
we don't need to do that one. That we ain't got the time for that.
I'm not jacked up enough for that. Give
No,
me
they- either
energy
that.
drinks and here we go. But I do agree with him. I'm going Dogs all day. Like,
Yeah.
They're more battle tested. They're more talent.
Just 100%
Like,
comes
Yeah.
down to that.
I think that the better team and that should win.
Yes.
There we go. Simple
You can
enough.
only put 13 points up against an NIU team.
Ah,
That's
that is
true.
who they lost
That's
to.
who they
Yeah,
lost
sure.
to. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. But yeah.
NIU was ranked for a little while after
Yes,
that.
Because
they
of
were.
that, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, which is fair. But yeah.
All right, so
So
then we'll have the Final Four. That comes on the 9th. And then, so let me go back to the bracket on
what
how
we
that
got?
would break down. So that would be Oregon, Texas, Georgia,
Yep.
Penn State.
Yes.
So we'll start with Oregon, Texas.
Oregon.
Keep the top 4.
Oregon. I'm gonna make this very simple. Texas has shown me something before I pick them over Oregon. I've got to see Quinn Ewers win a big game. I haven't seen it. No.
As of right now, I agree. If they start showing something during this playoff bracket, I could see it being different.
I could see Texas getting hot. And
Yeah.
Texas, when they're hot, can be.
They
one
are
of the most
just
explosive
as
teams.
talented as Oregon, I
Yes.
think.
They might even. Yeah, that really matches up well. I started to say it's the Quinn Ewers thing for me. It really is.
Yeah.
Say Arch starts against Clemson and looks great, or even Ewers is more mobile. Like
I don't think yours
he's
has been
hurt.
bad enough that Arch is starting.
No, probably not.
I think you might be surprised. I
Yeah.
really do. I don't know. We'll see. But with Ewers there, given the information we know now, I'm going Oregon. I really am.
Yeah, I think right now it's Oregon, but yeah, we'll see how these
Yeah.
2 games that Texas would have
I agree.
to.
And that's the thing that's hard
Go.
is projecting this out because it's like the injuries, all that.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't know
Well,
what these
the good
teams
thing
are
with
looking like.
Texas is it don't matter if a quarterback goes down.
That's true. It really is.
They're the only ones here. Maybe Georgia apparently at this point.
Well,
but
yeah.
but yeah, I think it's Oregon.
So
What do you think,
Stockton,
Rogers?
fine.
Yeah, I'm all for Oregon.
Oregon.
Okay,
all the way
we got
around.
Oregon there, and then the other one,
This is
Georgia,
really tough.
Penn State.
This is really tough. I would love to have seen a bigger sample size from Gunnar Stockton than what we've seen so far. And I don't think Beck's coming back.
I want to see what
No.
they do
That being
against
said-
Boise State against that run before I see before I make the decision.
Well, here's the problem.
Gunnar Stockton might be old Cardell Jones.
He might be. Yeah, he might be. Judging off what we've seen, I agree with you that it's not a big downgrade.
No, I don't.
So
I've been so against Carson Beck this year, though. I mean,
He's not been good. I had him picked this preseason as a top 5 Heisman guy.
yeah.
and
People were
he's-
like, "Oh, he's
Well,
the best."
most people had Ewers being a top 3 Heisman
Yeah,
guy.
exactly.
Well, they had
Cool.
Beck being the first quarterback off the board.
Yeah, they did, which also speaks to how weak the.
Yeah, also,
quarterback
yes,
is.
yes.
But that's fair. This is tough. I don't want to really go chalk 1-2. I feel like probably Georgia is a little better, but I don't know. This is very tough. What do you guys think?
I think it's Georgia still.
I'm going Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the record, I'll go Penn State and be different.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I think this game's a coin flip.
I kind of agree.
I
with that.
agree. If Stockton shows that he's up to Beck or even a little bit better, I think it's definitely Georgia.
Here's what worries me picking Penn State is I feel better about Georgia for sure being in this game than I do Penn State with the Boise
Yes,
State matchup.
yeah.
That worries me. So we'll go ahead and say then Georgia, Oregon. Consensus for the
Yeah.
Natty.
We'll
come
take a
back to
break.
Break,
You wanna
and
take a break?
we'll
Okay.
do our championship after that.
Yes.
Sounds good. Yep, we'll be back.
Needs.
All right, we are back, and it's time for the big one.
Time for the championship
The
game.
It's
championship.
cool because we have
So-
no idea if these two will be here. But hey, we're gonna pretend they are and talk about
This
it.
is our
And
championship
this is
game.
ours,
Our
yeah.
championship
We did
game.
our EA Sports simulation here, and this is what we got.
So championship game will be
we got
January
Oh.
10th, I think.
We've done all the
That
math.
sounds right.
No, it'll
Sounds
be.
right.
It's always on a.
Ran
It's
out
on.
of
It's on a.
simulations.
It's on a Monday, ain't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. it's
Okay.
on Monday.
Yeah, it's a Monday. So
Yeah,
I guess.
it's- I think they're done with Monday Night Football by then. We're
Yes.
gonna pretend they are. Yeah,
Yes.
it's playoffs on football.
That's right.
Well, that coming. So yeah, we got Oregon and Georgia. Where we going here, guys?
Two
Let's start.
powerhouses.
Two
but
big
Yeah,
powerhouses.
Big Ten and SEC too.
Big
That's
Ten,
fun.
SEC.
And there's always the debate every year. Who's better?
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
This year, I think I'm going to give Big Ten the edge.
See, I always pick Big Ten. It seems like in everything, and I am very agitated. But you know what? I agree with you. I don't want this to be the one time I go against them out of spite. And honestly, I think throw that all out. I do think Oregon is a little better team. Georgia, man, I think Oregon's more talented offensively.
Georgia's
got the talent
better
to be line.
With
defensively.
some of the playoffs that we've had in the past, we have seen some real blowouts in a championship game.
I don't think we see
We're not
that.
going to see that.
I
This
don't
year.
No.
think so.
This
No, I
is
do
going
not.
to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Well, which I hope going forward we don't see these blowouts because we have this format now.
Mhm.
You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like they've earned to be there. and
Yes.
Beat
Yeah.
3 teams, 4. So,
Yeah.
but I do think I'm gonna lean Oregon. Like I know you're not a huge fan of Gabriel,
Mm-hmm.
but in this instance, I'm gonna take him over. Like that's why the Gabriel thing I started out because I was like, I'm looking at who they're gonna play, and I'm like, I'd take him over that guy, and I
Mm-hmm.
would here,
Yeah.
Beck or backup. Like
Oregon's not really been, I would say, battle tested just because no one's really had an opportunity to beat them because they're just clobbering everyone.
yeah,
Well,
but not really because they beat
Beat
Ohio
Ohio
State by 1, and they beat
Penn
Giante and Boise State
by
by 3.
3, and
Penn
they just
State
beat Penn
It's a
State.
touchdown game.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think they check all the boxes for me.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I'm going Oregon too, but I think it's close,
yes,
and
I think we're
wouldn't-
talking a field goal game here.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if
touchdown.
Georgia's defense could still
Oh,
steal them
absolutely.
another one.
I would not be shocked by either team winning.
No,
No.
I'm going to give Oregon the slight edge,
Yeah.
but
that's
it's
what
anyone's
I'm at.
game.
Where were you officially at? You thinking?
I think in Oregon.
I'm not throwing
Yeah.
money on either side. I know that.
No.
No.
No, a lot of these games I'm like, stay away. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but I do think and they're undefeated right now. Until otherwise,
They've
like,
been
I'm-
tested, and
Yeah.
it seems like they passed the test.
Yeah, they have, and Georgia at times has looked. I guess body of work they've looked more vulnerable at
Mhm.
times, really. So
Yep.
it could flip on this one, but I'm going Oregon. So
Okay.
you got it unanimous here.
All right,
Oregon
you've heard
wins.
it here.
Thank us.
BBB says
Georgia.
Oregon's the
Yep.
national champions.
And if they don't, then cut it.
Yeah.
you know.
You
Yeah,
guys can
it's
come here
hard.
and make fun of us all you want. That just means you're interacting with the video, so we're all about
We
it.
love it.
All sorts of interact, positive, negative.
Yes.
It's all good. It's fun. So after that, you guys want to talk some Heisman?
Yeah,
Let's talk
so
about
we
the best team in the
This
league.
is a big debate.
Let's talk about the best player.
There you
yeah.
go. Nice
So the
little segue.
trophy
I like that.
finalists are just now announced, literally like
As of about an hour.
an hour ago.
breaking
When
news.
we're recording this, it is Dylan Gabriel, Travis Hunter, Aston Gianti, and Cam Ward are the
Interesting.
4 finalists here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring it up here on
Do
the
we
computer.
kind of think it's a 2-horse race?
I think it's a 2-horse
do,
race.
right.
Gabriel,
I don't put money on this horse either.
No.
Gabriel, he's.
Gabriel and.
Well, I was trying to find his stats. I just
Ward.
had him up here.
Well, I think they're there because they're quarterbacks. Ward more on the numbers part. Let's start say they didn't really win. They were 13th.
Ward's
right?
been outstanding.
He has been.
Yeah. Well, I started to say there. I think they're because they're quarterbacks on very good teams.
Yeah, they are.
And that's going to get you in Heisman consideration.
Mhm.
I don't think either one of them though did enough to be ranked over these skilled guys. Like
No.
I agree with that.
it's Heisman's usually a quarterback driven.
It is.
Usually, it's like MVP.
I will say that Ward kind of made that Miami team
He
a
did.
better team.
He
I
did,
agree.
for sure.
Yes,
I'm not sure that
Um,
Dylan Gabriel makes Oregon all that much better.
I get what you're saying
Yeah.
because their system's so good.
He's a little
That's
more
fair.
stable.
That's fair. Yeah.
But Ward is definitely, out of those two, it's definitely Ward.
I agree.
Oh, and if you're talking pro prospect, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
absolutely,
Ward.
He's
Yeah.
better.
He's.
Ward, though,
he's-
to me, didn't have that Heisman moment. Like, they
No.
lost. Man, if they hadn't lost the 2 games they did, if they hadn't, they had the ACC title game to get to it in their
Yeah.
hands, and they couldn't beat, was it Syracuse? In
Mhm.
Syracuse, that
Yeah.
was it. So, yeah, put up the bonkers numbers, but that was a killer for me.
Yeah.
For him. Like, I'd probably got him 4th.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I've got him 4th, Gabriel 3rd.
I don't like Gabriel,
Okay.
so I.
Well, I know. But
So I have Ward over him, but
even
it's.
he's on the number 1 team in the nation, the numbers he put up.
He didn't put. He
The
didn't.
Mahomes effect. He's on the number 1 team, so we give him ranks higher.
He, I'm just gonna point out
My
that
toll.
Joe Burrow threw 40 more touchdowns than Gabriel did.
Oh, in his career, right?
No, in this Heisman,
What?
it's close.
Whoa.
It may be 25, but it's like closer than you want to know. I'm gonna look
Joe
it
Burrow
up.
was bonkers, but that's nuts. And I've
He
honestly-
only has 28 touchdowns
okay 28 total or just passing.
passing.
Okay, well he's got a fair amount of rushing, I think.
Well,
so.
Burrow's all freaking.
So either way though, we're arguing about 3rd or 4th. Like I don't really care. Like I'm
Yeah.
good with if he's 4th, Gabriel 4th.
Yeah.
Now let's start
But-
the real race.
This is one
The
I'm
real
pretty split
Heisman
on.
race.
He threw
Yeah, the real
Burrow threw 60 that year.
That's crazy. He was on another level. That LSU team, another level.
Yes,
But
yes,
For this
yes.
year,
This year it's a 2-horse race though, and it's tough.
I wish that it could be later and you could see what Giante does in the playoffs, but that's not how this works.
No.
We're looking at a top 5, maybe top 3 running back season of all time. in college
we are.
Football.
Problem is on this side we're looking at literally a unicorn season. That,
Exactly. We're looking at the only comparable thing you can think of is Shohei Ohtani in the MLB.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's a very good comp. Very good point. Yeah, stuff that he shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
They're also, big conference too. Like both these. Well, I'm sorry. Let's see. Boise's the Mountain West. Colorado is
Big 12.
Big 12 now.
I didn't realize he led the Big
So-
12 in receptions
Yeah.
and receiving touchdowns.
I guess they're both, Power 5 conferences, but not like SEC, Big 10. They're kind of a wash, I
Yeah.
think.
He did have some games. Travis Hunter did have some receiving games where he was completely shut down.
Yeah.
But he also had some receiving games that were ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
just want to point out that receiving is his side gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a better corner
In the
than he is
NFL, he's
receiver.
considered a corner prospect.
Yeah.
He is top 5, draft pick corner.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to get the edge Hunter here because it's something we've never seen before. And I'll tell you what, the one thing I wouldn't want to be is a defense that faces Giante next if he gets second in this. And doesn't
Yeah.
win it.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I think that is going to be a large, grumpy man.
Sideline that I would
Yeah.
not want to have their job. I mean,
The-
he's going to run everybody over.
The thing is with Hunter, and we kind of talked about this before, is, on the defensive side, there's not a lot of stats that you can really go off of for a quarterback. I mean, interceptions, well, Trayvon Diggs had freaking 7 interceptions that year, but he's a terrible cover man.
Sometimes it's honestly the lower pick.
The lower pick,
Yeah.
because I mean, Revis Island, he never got thrown to.
Yeah.
Which
I will say Travis Hunter, some of the picks I've seen him get, it's unreal.
It is.
It's like,
I'm excited to see him in the NFL where he kind of can turn into that. Oh, this guy's also a wide receiver that's playing quarterback.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some crazy picks.
yeah.
Because his hands are just as good as some of the wide receivers.
Absolutely.
Most of the quarterbacks in the NFL are
We're going
guys.
to see one-handed.
Oh yes. Oh
we
yeah.
are
Oh for
for
sure.
a pick. Yeah.
For sure.
That's the other thing I got thinking. This has never hit me till literally just now. I'm like, it makes him, I think, a better cornerback.
It does.
Being a receiver, knowing their outside tendencies, like he
Yeah.
knows what he does, and like,
Yeah.
it probably is amazing. It's just no one else can do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm gonna go him with the slide edge.
Yeah.
I have no problem if Giante gets it.
No, I don't either. It's
I'm right there with you guys. I think
Yeah.
Travis Hunter. It's just no one's seen it before.
No.
and I
We haven't
see.
seen what Giante's done very often either. But
No.
Barry Sanders did do it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair, and that's the other thing. I'm like, if he would go on a run in this, break the record, everything, I'm like, oh man,
But
that's sway me, but we don't know that.
yeah, and it's already that this is already going to be decided before that happens.
Yeah, and I wish too these guys' years weren't the same year. I'm like,
Yeah.
it'd be so cool if they were a different year. But you know,
And people want to say snaps aren't a stat, but at the same time, Hunter, I guess I'm just crowing on him and everything, but his conditioning is unreal.
what does he play on each side of the ball? Like, is it 90% defensively, close to 100, and then offensively it's around 80? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then it's like in they just played an overtime game, and he was the one who won them the game.
Yeah,
and that late in the game, doing all he's done, and he's still out there making plays.
Yeah. So I think all these reasons.
But
he gets the
Genty is
slide edge.
amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, he is great. He's going to be probably the first running back on the board, and I'm thinking he's going to go to his
Do you
hometown
think Hunter
team.
gives up the wide receiver gig in the NFL.
Full time, yes.
They're going to have some packages for him.
Yes. Yeah, oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
have-
I think so.
And I think it'll be more packages than like what we see Dion or Hester didn't play corner, but like he had
more
some.
snaps.
Yeah.
It's going to be more. There's going to be a decent amount of packages.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
I think he'll break the mold there that he actually does play some offense.
50% of offensive
Yeah. A lot
snaps.
of it, I think we'll see what Spotty
I'll
does.
take
Also
the under
that.
on 50%.
I think it's close to that. I almost said 30, but I think it's closer
Yeah.
to 50 than it
Yeah.
is 30.
I think so. Like I said,
I-
we'll see
I
where he lands
wouldn't
and
be
we'll
surprised.
see, but he'd be a fun talent to have on your team. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So-
Yeah.
You also see a guy that may not miss a single snap as a corner because he's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
conditioned.
Absolutely. He's amazing talent. So we're going to all lean slightly him and see what Giante does. I was thinking that too. I'm like, this could be fun.
All right, well, we got a few minutes here.
Yeah, let's talk some NFL.
Let's get some NFL.
Yes.
We got one guy we got to talk about.
Yes.
We've been going back and forth MVP consideration debate, all this crap, and You guys think Josh Allen might have just slammed?
I think he did.
I think he locked it in. Yeah.
Okay.
He said, "Check mark. Here's a."
Next 3 weeks,
yeah.
he'd have to be pretty darn bad to not win MVP at this point.
This had never happened before, right?
Yeah.
6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing.
He had
What more could he do?
literally record-breaking weeks in back-to-back weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like keeps one-upping himself. And I mean, in this one too, if you look at it, I believe he was like 90% of his team's offense.
Yeah.
He threw for 300 and some yards. He ran for 90 some. James Dalvin Cook had like 20 yards.
Yeah.
He's also
He
never
did it
won
all.
an MVP. He's always had a problem with turning the ball over, and this
Yeah.
year,
This year
really
he's
kind of
not.
nipped that in the
No,
bud.
Yeah.
he's been unreal. This was cool to see. Crazy they lost the game.
Yeah.
Big
the-
picture.
I mean,
Your Rams pick.
42,
They're winning that.
44.
There's no doubt now.
Yeah, 44-42.
That's a crazy game, honestly. I
That's
mean,
the
that's
Bills
a
can be beat those on the ground.
Yeah.
Honestly, Kyron Williams had a very good game.
well, it was Puka.
And, Puka.
Puka
yeah.
kept his team's fantasy hopes alive. Or his
crushed you.
his
Puka-
playoff hopes alive.
Puka at the end
he
of the
killed
game,
my
yeah.
fantasy playoff hopes.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless
Yeah.
Cooper Rush is
160
amazing.
something.
Okay, I was already. We do a fantasy league, and he was playing me for the right to get in the playoffs, and Puka killed his chances.
You were a long shot, and now Puka put you in the miracle class. Like,
You're right.
I went from
Before-
of scoring 100 points before Puka played to 127.
And he's
Yeah.
an amazing talent. Like what he does, the receiver position.
Oh, he had some rushing. He had a rushing
Yeah, he had a
touchdown
rushing
and
touchdown.
decent amount of rushing
The way
yards.
they use him,
It
that's
was
what I
the
getting
rushing
at,
touchdown when I turned the game off. Like just
Spike,
great game, but like it's killing my fantasy.
Yeah, that kind of
vibes
killed me,
here.
dog. Good for you, but
Yeah.
drunk spike the remote. We have that. But yeah, that was huge, and that's the way to wrap this up. This NFC West, this is another one we've just went back and forth on, and now Rams are a game out.
Yep.
Seattle's got the lead. They went into Arizona,
Beat him.
and good thing Kyler was still playing some Call of Duty, I guess.
Yeah.
0-3 since Warzone came out.
Yeah,
Yes.
0-3.
that was the key. So yeah, I think I'm leaning your argument with the Rams. Like I think they do play Seattle again. Correct?
They do.
That's for the division.
I mean, Seattle's looked good too. But
They
I
have.
believe they've won like 3 or 4
Yeah.
in a row now as well.
Yep.
And
I'll put it this way: I think it's the Rams, and I'm way more scared of the Rams in the playoffs than I would Seattle.
Yep, I think I could see that. I really could. Yeah, and McVay too. That's another one that that guy, brilliant.
K9 comes back. You want to have a starting job. Charbonnet looks
Yeah.
great.
He did.
He did look great. I think they still go K9.
K9's
They
great.
love him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really don't. What was the other one? Oh yeah, the Chiefs won a squeaker. That was fun. That always happens. So
Yeah,
nice
that happens
little
every week.
double
Nothing
dunk.
new.
Just adds to the
No flag
dynamic
this time.
there.
No flag.
Yeah, no flag. No controversy. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last point I was going to say, San Fran. Do you think they might have a glimmer of hope now
No.
after dismantling the Bears? Okay.
No.
Squash that. They did look impressive. The Bears, I'm like,
It's the Bears.
I know we got a lot of Bears fans out there in this region. I'm sorry.
The only thing
Yeah.
impressive about that game is how bad the Bears are.
Yeah, it
I'll
really
tell
was.
if I'm Chicago or the Jets, I'm going in a bidding war for whoever you can get Mike Vrabel to come coach your team.
I agree 100%.
That man needs
he's
a job. He's got to be a coach on one of those
What
two
about
teams.
Billy B? Oh.
No. It's Vrabel.
He's going back to school, guys.
Yeah.
So,
All right, guys, we're out
Yep.
of time.
That was
Yes.
fun.
Unfortunately.
We
Yep.
are.
But
Thank you, guys.
thanks
listening.
everyone for watching.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Follow
See you
all the
next week.
socials.
Yep.
See ya.